Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Difference Makers. Tonight, it just doesn't get any bigger and better. We've got the proverbial GOAT with us, the greatest of all time, Mr. Walter Ray Williams. Thanks, Walter Ray, for agreeing to be part of the program. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it is truly our pleasure. So we've spent the better part of, I'll say, 3.5 to 4 hours on the phone the last couple of days. And I really got to, get to know some of the things that make your career what it is. I've done a lot of research, and boy, I tell you what, it's a lot. And I don't think it's even possible that we're going to be able to get this done in a 30-minute program. So, we've talked about trying to get in as much as we can. So, what I want to pull up, just to jump in and get started here right away, is I want to pull up your stats, your career stats. We've got, this is just some of it, and a couple of things that stand out, and I'll get into more, but these are the two that really stood out to me the most, is the spare conversion as the PBA records them. It's just insane. So the year of 2005 and 2006, again, as the PBA records it, you were 475 out of 475, 100% single pin spare conversion. And the year before that, again, I'll put that preface out there, as the PBA records it, 88.6% total spare percentage for the year. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But, I don't know that it gets any better than that.
That's what the PBA recorded. They actually only recorded match play those few years, and I actually kept track of my, because I had a Palm Pilot back then. I think I used, I'm not sure what, but used an app and kept track of my stats. And I actually missed a few during qualifying. Why I would miss them in qualifying, not match play, because guys will actually shoot, a strike ball and a fill ball sometimes, even a match play. So. Especially when you're bowling elimination matches and you're trying to get lined up.
Yeah, that's
I guess I was okay with being lined up the way I was.
So, you would have missed those likely because, like you said, trying a different ball as you move from one game to the next. Yeah, technically is a missed spare, but as you mentioned, guys are just trying different things to make sure you're lined up for the next game. That happens quite a bit.
It does happen a fair amount, yes.
Yeah, but either way, 475 out of 4, that is sheer and absolute perfection. It kind of reminds me of golf, right? Drive for show and putt for dough. It is the spares that make
guys say that all the time, but I've had some tournaments. Well, it's funny because I'm posting a video from a little tournament I bowled last weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend before, and I didn't miss any spares. I didn't cash. Got to throw more strikes.
Oh, wow. Well, that's an anomaly.
Yes and no. I don't strike as much as I used to. Actually, it's one of the few times I didn't have an open, in the set. So I looked at that and go, wow. So, yeah, my spare shooting is not as good as it used to be. The last couple of years, it's probably about 96 or 97% on single pins, which is a little frustrating. It used to be pretty much 99% or better. For a long time, but that one stat was just a kind of an anomaly. They just didn't keep track of, everything.
Well, yeah. So it means that it was, sheer perfection in that particular case, and you say 96, and you are human after all. It's maybe in other things, but. What
body doesn't cooperate as well as I'd like sometimes.
Well, hey, Father Time's undefeated, So, if there was a particular pin, what would be the one that maybe more than others, maybe gives you a little more angst? Obviously, there's not. You shooting 100%, but if there was one, what would give you the most trouble?
Shooting. Well, back then, I was pretty good at my spares. But like I said, the last couple of years, I've actually missed quite a few 10 pins. So that actually, and it kind of gets in your head a little bit, So it was definitely not something I was at times looking forward to, especially, you miss one or two, and I think I missed 3 in one game, or 3 single pins in one game at a regional tournament one time. And that was just like, I think that's the most I've ever missed in a block.
I would imagine that the crowd behind you was thinking, my gosh, I mean, he must be not feeling well today. I mean, the world is truly, I mean, like hell has frozen over for Walter Ray to miss 3 single pins in a single game. You know, which comes across,
I have a slight excuse. I did have a pulled groin muscle, and that kind of altered my delivery a little bit. And it did kind of mess up my spare game a little bit more than my strike game, which is kind of odd. But since then, I've almost righted the ship completely. But I still miss spares. I mean, last night bowling league, I made all my 10 pins, but I missed a single pin. I missed a 2 pin, which is in the middle of the lane. I don't know how you missed that. It was just a really bad shot.
Oh, well, I hate to say it again, but you know, you're human. It's maybe not in the sport of bowling or horseshoes, but you know, it's okay. We'll let you go by missing 1 or 2 here and there. You know, speaking of spares, we wouldn't be talking of spare game if we didn't bring up, and I know you say it doesn't matter because you mentioned that, but it kind of does. It's kind of cool to see, if nothing else. We wouldn't be talking spares, and we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the Big 4 conversion on TV, which to this day, I believe you're still the only one who's ever done it.
TV.
Yeah, on TV, correct. So, I mean, here we've got a video of it. You know, here's your ball.
That's the lead, yeah. Not happy, obviously.
Yep, and now here it comes. Here it goes. I mean, it kind of looked. You were shocked, like.
Was shocked.
Yeah.
I don't pick it up very often. I don't throw the ball excessively hard. These younger guys, they throw it 3 miles, 4 miles an hour, 5, 10 miles an hour harder than I do. You know, so they get the pins to bounce out of the back way more than I do. It was just, you know, a freak. And I still lost the game by 20 pins, so it's like it didn't matter.
Well, yeah, you're right. It didn't matter, but you know, it's like going up there when you're, you know, 5 shots out of the lead in golf, but yet you go up and you bang a, you know, 350-yard drive and cap it off with an eagle putt. So, kind of cool. Still lost, but still kind of cool. So, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to hear more from the greatest of all time, Mr. Walter Ray Williams. Stay tuned.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Experience the homegrown goodness of Cass Clay Country, where life is made sweeter and healthier. For over 85 years, we've been crafting delicious dairy products from local farms for local families. Our recipes only use the freshest ingredients, from milk and butter to ice cream, sour cream, and cottage cheese. You can rely on us for superior quality and taste that your parents and grandparents will even recognize. It's a difference you can taste. Cass Clay, homegrown, pure goodness.
Welcome back to More Difference Makers. We're going to continue our conversation tonight with the GOAT, with Mr. Walter Ray Williams. Thanks, Walter Ray, for again being with us tonight.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It is our pleasure. So we're going to kind of go back to how your career in bowling really began. Who are some mentors or coaches or ball reps that really kind of got you started and really kept your career going to where it is?
Well, I was taught by somebody from horseshoes. I was a champion horseshoe player when I was very, very young. That's where I got my nickname Deadeye, was when I was 10 playing horseshoes. When I qualified at the World Championships, I had 45 ringers out of 50 shoes. And then a year or two after that,
That's your mom and dad there, right?
That is. Oh, I thought he said the that our audio wouldn't work, so that's why it was quiet.
Oh, no, no, that's all
Um,
right. Yeah, that's your mom and
but
dad.
yeah, um, somebody at the Horseshoes introduced me to bowling and taught me a four-step delivery. He was a good bowler, but he only took three steps, but he knew the four-step delivery was better. And after that, it was pretty much self-taught, and actually didn't really take any lessons until, and lessons is kind of a hard word, but I didn't have anybody help me at all until after I was on tour. I had a guy, one of the guys I bowled league with, helped me, learn a five-step delivery, and I can go five, four, I can even go three steps. And the three-step is the modern three-step. It's not the three-step I kind of cringe on when I give people lessons, where they're, you know, with the guys on tour, when they take three steps, they get the ball in the swing and they wait, and then they get the ball, then they get their feet moving, which is how I think the proper three-step delivery should be.
You know, as I was watching a film of your horseshoe form and your bowling form as you got older, I noticed a lot of similarity between your two forms. I mean, so I think we've got a clip of your horseshoe form, and then we'll overlay your bowling form. So here's your bowling form, which I know you've been kind of known for your high follow through and your leg kick on bowling, which is where you generate obviously your speed and power. And now if we overlay your horseshoe, look, I mean, it's very similar. Has anybody, I'm sure many people have pointed that out to you.
Well, it is similar. They're both underhand arm swings. You got to be, they're accuracy sports. There's a little bit more effort in throwing a bowling ball, but there's a minimum effort in throwing a horseshoe. Like, you can throw a bowling ball really slow and get it down the lane. They're not going to be very effective, but with horseshoes, you have to throw it a certain distance. You can't roll it down there. It has to fly to get there. So there's a minimum amount of energy, but it's not as much energy as, say, a professional would use to throw a bowling ball.
So
I
there's,
think the other part of that is I developed a really accurate arm swing, and I used to have a little bit of a figure eight, which unfortunately I've lost in about the last 10 or 15 years. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, but my backswing used to kind of come out a little bit and then kind of tuck a little bit behind my back and then come up and get close to my ankle. I used to clip my ankle on occasion back in the 80s. I'm not even close to my ankle these days. Maybe it's that fear of hitting my ankle. I'm not sure what the deal is, but it's also affected my horseshoe game. My horseshoe game is not nearly as good. In fact, that clip you showed, I broke my finger, and then years later I broke my wrist, and I learned how to play left-handed. And now when I play horseshoes, I actually compete left-handed. I'm actually a tiny bit better left-handed than right-handed, and I still get frustrated left-handed, but I get way more frustrated right-handed.
I guess speaking of hitting your ankle, man, that hurts like crap in bowling. And I'll just share this with you. I had the front 11 here. This is 2 years ago, and I went up in the 12th and I hit my ankle with the ball and threw it in the channel. So really,
You're not the only one to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do it again. That was embarrassing.
No.
So you have a younger brother, Jeff, that was or is, as a remarkable horseshoe pitcher himself. And we've got a little clip of where you broke your finger, and I think it was the only time in competition to that point that he beat you. And so we'll play this clip real quick. It's kind of cute.
But when it came to playing for keeps, Jeff dethroned Deadeye with the help of a fortuitous incident.
Well, he had a broken finger and I beat him.
How did he get a broken finger?
I called him a name.
What did you call him?
I called him a girl.
and then what happened?
And then he was ready to hit me, and they said he wouldn't hit me, and then he hit me.
And he broke his finger?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's your little brother.
Yeah, smart enough, right? You had to take advantage, and well, God darn it, you broke your finger. That was funny. So, I mean, you were telling me about a tournament that you went into, pitch and shoes, where you were over 90%. Tell us that. Tell us that story.
I've had several tournaments over 90%. I think my best is 92.4%. That was probably out of about 250 shoes. I don't know the exact number, but it was also against some of the top players. It was actually up in Canada. There was a young lady, well, at the time she was very young. She averaged 88% at the World Tournament one year, and then her brother, who was a top player, and then another top Canadian player, Stanley. So there was several of us top players there, and I just happened to have a great day. It was indoor courts, and no, don't have to worry about the wind or the sun or the rain or anything like that. Average 92.4, but I think I've had like 13 tournaments over 90%. When I was 11, I actually had a 94% tournament. 11 misses out of 194 shoes.
Good Lord, that is crazy. That, you know, your hand-eye coordination, like you said, your arm swing, you know, being able to repeat something over and over and over is a talent that is not many people on this planet have to that level. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to hear more from the greatest of all time, Mr. Walter Ray Williams. Stay tuned.
Relationships founded on trust. That's how Lux Wealth Advisors was established, and it continues to be paramount in everything we do. Our professionals are here to make building wealth simple and straightforward for anyone. Whether you're just starting out, nearing retirement, or you're someplace in between, we'll take the time to accurately assess your current financial state, then design a tailored plan to help you achieve your long-term goals. Lux Wealth Advisors, the right answers for financial independence.
Mandan Sporting Goods' new location means new inventory and even greater commitment to supporting your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're wanting personal defense weapons, collectibles, or simply the area's largest selection of ammo, reloading supplies, and new line of fishing equipment, the team at Mandan Sporting Goods will help you find what you need. 206 4th Avenue Northwest.
Welcome back to more Difference Makers here on BEK TV Plus. I am joined by our good friend and greatest of all time bowler, Mr. Walter Ray Williams. Welcome back, Mr. Walter Ray. How are you?
Yeah, thanks.
We are going to just quickly, and I don't think we could pull up many different graphs and all this other stuff to pull up your accolades, but you know, frankly, we just don't have the time. So we tried to condense some of this. So I wanted to kind of go through some of your, I guess, some things that stood out. You know, all-time tour wins, 47 titles, $5+ million in earnings, player of the year, 7 different times, consistent excellence, I guess. That's the thing that also stood out, is you won for 17 consecutive seasons. Out of those, I know there's a couple of things that stand out as the things that make you most proud. What would be the one thing?
The thing I'm most proud about was being voted the player of the decade in the 90s and in the 2000s.
That physical exertion on a body, and to be able to do what you do at such a high level for so long, I think you're right, is the testament to excellence. You know, the old saying, right? Any given Sunday. You know, some people can have a great weekend, a great year, but to do it, as you just mentioned, over 20 years is, I mean, that's the sign of true excellence. So I agree with you. We've got 2 other graphs that I want to pull up, or 2 other charts rather. All-time leader in the PBA 50 tour titles. You have 3 majors there. 100 combined PBA titles. 100.
Actually, it's 131.
Oh,
and they didn't count a couple tournaments.
See, that's why when I'm reading it, it's 100 plus. There you go. I stand corrected. 300 games on tour, 110, the latest that I could find. I don't know if that's more than that now.
I don't know if I haven't seen anything PBA has put on their websites or anything. They used to keep track of that, but I've added a few more since then. In fact, I just bowled one last month, and actually was two-handed.
We're going to come to that. We're going to come to that, yeah. And then we got one more chart that I want to bring up. So you are a 9-time world horseshoe champion. Again, you were the first to break 2 million, first to break 3 million, 4 million, and now 5 million in career earnings. The longevity, as we just talked about, you are a Hall of Fame inductee into the PBA, the USBC, and now the World Horseshoe Pitching Hall of Fame. What more can a person say of what a career could look like? You've done it all.
I haven't done it all, but I've done a lot.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's true being humble. I appreciate it. From my perspective, I think you've done it all. You know, that is amazing accomplishments, true excellence, as we just said. So, you know, kind of giving us an idea, you just mentioned your two-handed 300. The game is evolving, as you well know. I mean, it's now become more of a powers game, a power player's game. You've thrown a 300 two-handed. What are your thoughts on two-handed?
Obviously, I'm not against it since I've actually tried it. I'm not as good as the young guys. I've managed to bowl now. I've actually got 5 300 games two-handed, 2 in league competition and 3 in the PBA senior tournaments. And it's you know, to me, you're using your body. You know, so as long as you're using your body to throw the ball, what difference does it make? If somebody thinks that that's cheating, they're either jealous or they don't realize that it's actually takes a little bit of practice. I think what the quote old timers don't like about it is an easy way to the ball, which, you know, throwing the ball one-handed, it takes a lot more technique and learning to learn how to do that. Where two-handed, the hook comes almost naturally. So maybe we've been doing it wrong this entire time. But there was a time that hooking the ball excessive was really not that good. Don Carter told me many years ago that when he started to throw the ball straighter, that's when he became a better bowler, because that's what the lane conditions called for back then. Nowadays, hooking the ball is actually a good thing. You know, I do lots of clinics and people say, oh, straighter's greater. Well, not really. You know, if straighter was greater, everybody would be doing that. But the better players can do both to some degree. And, you know, that's, they learn how to go up the boards with either urethane or plastic or whatever they need to do, you know, and then they can hook, you know, then they can stand, the right-hander stand way left and throw it dead right, you know, and they are really good at that. So I've got all the, you know, I'm impressed by all the young players that bowl on tour. They do things that I kind of dream about doing, but I can still throw a few strikes every now and then.
Yeah, I can attest. I bowled next to you at the Masters in Vegas this past year, and you're right. You can throw a lot of strikes. I watched it happen. Real quick, we've got about 30 seconds or less left. What are your thoughts on string pins?
They're the certified ones, and they're the good certified ones. I'm good with it. The pin carry is really pretty good. The recreation ones, they're not really for tournament play, you know. But the thing is to me, it really doesn't matter. The better bowler is going to be the better bowler. You're going to get that weird hit or whatever, but you get those in free fall pins. So I've seen pins stand out of the gutter. I've seen pins, you know, come from the back and flip out. You know, so it's all a combination of everything. But at the long run, the better bowler is going to be the better bowler.
Cream always rises to the top. Absolutely. So that's going to conclude our episode tonight of Difference Makers with, again, the greatest of all time, and someone I've got to know pretty well these last couple of days. And I got to tell you, as a person, not just as a bowler, What a wonderful guy, what a wonderful ambassador for the game. We hope to have him back on the program, hear more of his story, tell more of his story, because it deserves to be told. So stay tuned. We're going to wrap up the show. We're going to take a break and hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Katie with First Community Credit Union, and we're here with Angry Beaver Tree Services in Devil's Lake. What do you love about FCCU?
I would say it's an organization that's willing to go above and beyond to take care of the community needs. People are very friendly to work with, and they're always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that what I need is being taken care of. I love the friendly people, and like I said, I can walk in there and talk about getting a loan, and they're always willing to sit down and work with you right away. I mean, the process is fast, people are friendly, and it just doesn't get any better than that.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Welcome to the world of exceptional care and well-being. At Chubby Health, we believe in nurturing your body and mind and maximizing your potential. Trust our dedicated chiropractic team and the expertise of our skilled physical therapist. Embrace the future of rehab with stem wave therapy. Restore your body's natural energy flow with acupuncture and discover the power of nutrition with our expert doctors. And don't forget our specialized prenatal and pediatric care services. Put your health in good hands with Chubby Health.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Well, that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of Difference Makers. We want to be sure to send a shout out to our sponsors, to I Am Bowling Apparel. We want to thank Logo Infusion, K&K Pro Services, Farmers Union Insurance, the X League. Look out for this, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. Check out myxleague.com. Look at, again, Turbo Grips. We want to thank them for their new partnership. That's going to be a good one. Stay tuned for next week as we continue on this journey to discover the stories and tell the stories of the greatest that have ever played the game. Next week we have Parker Bone III, Parker Bone III will be on next week. So look out for next week. Join us and have a good time.